everyone. Good evening. Konnichiwa, ohayou gozaimasu, ni hao, namaste, sin chao. If you want to open a conversation in Asia, start by saying hello in their way. So, hi everyone. I am Ankita. I'm Chief Growth Officer at Beverage Trade Network and Asia Ratings. And we are going deep in getting to know which marketplaces and trade social apps you and your brands should be hanging around to get the Asian buyer's attention. Who should stay for the next 30 minutes? I get a chance to quickly see and glance over to which all countries am I going to address in. So I see people coming from New Zealand, I see people coming from Australia to Lebanon. I see a couple of you, and I know a couple of the brands that already participated in other competition that we host. So this session is going to be a practical playbook on how to get found by beverage buyers in Asia, where they actually search, how they shortlist, and what you must show to be chosen. So if you are an export manager, a brand owner, importer, or a distributor, or even a trade marketer, I would say, you are in the right session. We will move market by market, we'll understand their apps, we'll highlight the particular country, and then we'll finish with the communication tables and the key takeaway. So let's start with why Asia matters. In last few years, a lot of great brands have told the same thing. We need growth that isn't a hostage to tariffs and price shocks. And that's why Asia is on everyone's roadmap. The energy in Tokyo, in Shanghai, in Singapore, Mumbai, Ho Chi Minh City. I think everybody is talking about trade. Everybody is talking about the cities which are being highlighted, even if you take the on-premise sector or the off-premise sector. And therefore, it really matters to get this attention when the iron is hot. So what's the key in Asia? In Asia, buyers start online and finish in person. So they scan categories on the marketplaces, they shortlist you on exhibitor portals, and they're going to ping you on WeChat, Line, WhatsApp. So basically, your online footprint is your first handshake. And the brand that win, they simply do two things really well. One, they show up in the exact places where buyers are already searching. And second, they follow through fast samples, documentation, and a real conversation. So the goal for me today is to show you where to be and what a good page looks like on each platform. One thing that we should remember is if your listing looks like a brochure and not a buying page, you are just going to get more views and not any orders. So let's understand the buyer's journey before we move in and deep dive into apps. So think of this journey as a simple pipeline. It's search, verify, message, sample, and meet. Search is when they find you on marketplaces or exhibitor portal and not on your homepage. So we are not talking about your websites or URL. We are talking about you being listed on their platforms where they source. Verify, they click on your profile, they see your spec PDF to confirm whether you are fit, any sort of risk which are being attached to this product, etc., etc. Message, they DM in app, they DM you maybe the app that you're using, or they jump to a secondary platform, which is usually an app-based platform. You can say WeChat, WhatsApp, Line, Zalo, Kakao Talk. And then if you respond fast with clear specs and timeline, they ask for samples. And that sampling, it converts into a meeting if they want to move ahead and go for a further deal. So what is important here is, for any brand, is to remove friction at every point. So you have to be discoverable, you have to look complete, you have to reply really fast, you have to ship quickly and make sure that you schedule a call or a meeting. So now you know the process, let's say, you know what a pipeline to speak to a buyers look like, but what do you mean by getting listed on these apps? And usually we call these apps as a digital showroom. So consider every listing on these app is like your trade stand that never closes. So a minimum viable listing should have a local language pager, a one pager, a precise SKU specs. Let's say you mention your varietals, you have your ABV, you have your pack sizes, you have your shelf life mentioned, cases, pallet, everything. Do mention your trade terms. So let's say your INCO terms, your international commercial terms, your price bands, your minimum order quality, your lead time, your payment terms. Attach as many as proofs as possible. So your certificates, your compliance readiness, your recent awards that have been won on any of the competitions, your placement that has happened recently. Make sure you also attach to your verifications, your assurance, any sort of audit that you were a part of. So you attach those logos. You definitely leave a contact as well. Remember, buyers are not hunting for poetry, they are hunting for certainty. So they need to understand your brands even before they get on a call with you. So imagine that your page should speak and become a salesperson before they even going to jump on a call and speak to an actual human. This slide is a self-explanatory slide. That means your one playbook will not work for entire Asia. So we all have an experience working in Europe. We all have experience working in UK. But let's say here, there are few apps, no doubt, there are few apps that goes hand in hand in other countries, but that will help you to be technically familiarized with them. But the communication style to way of business is going to be super different in every Asian country. So let's go in deep and understand what exactly does every country mean. So let's start with our first country, that is Japan. I would say Japan is almost like blending tradition with digital. Japan still prizes a meticulous documentation and a quick digital discovery. So let me give you an example. I had a chance of working with BP, British Petroleum, and Reliance, and we usually, whenever we had a chance to show presentations to any of our clients or to any of our buyers, we used to have a slides that has data and graphs, and most of the conversation or the talk used to happen from the presenter. So we used to speak most of the content. In Japan, it's completely other way around. In Japan, they make sure that your one slide has all the data nicely presented, most aligned way, from fonts to explanation, everything is on this slide. So it doesn't matter if in the room there is a presenter or not. So that is how it's very different for you to understand which country are you going to pitch to. For example, your email should start with san, which is actually like in basic Mr., Mrs., good morning, hello to everyone. So let's say show up where buyers already look for. So all these apps which are listed here are the apps that works as trade marketplaces and the trade social apps. So make sure that you know where buyers are looking for. So for example, JETRO and chamber directories, you should be registered to, and you should have a page there. Make sure your, in case if you are exhibiting, your Foodex and your JFX exhibitor profiles are completely clean. Most of the follow-ups in Japan will land on line. So treat line like an email in Japan and not like a chat app. The replies has to be really, really formal. It should be in the timing. And I think acknowledgement can happen within 4 hours or 5 hours if the time zone is not an issue. But then the reply should go within 24 hours. You should have a concise Japanese one pager that should have all the information about your specs, your pack sizes, your Incoterm. Definitely have a line QR. So I think scannability is one of the major benefit, and it's one of the highly recommended thing that people do. So make sure you have a scannable line QR. Keep your tone super polite, super factual and brief, and let the spec sheet do the heavy lifting. So it's often been said that if you can't summarize your brand in one Japanese page, you are actually asking the buyers to do the work. So let's make sure that all these apps, wherever you make your profile, your brand page, you should have as much as information in the most cleanest and most easy understand way. China, I think it's a different whole together a different country, but it's known for its super apps. So I won't say them apps because they hold together a different set of apps that you deal with. So they are a combination of super apps and marketplaces. China runs on WeChat, and we all know, I think most of the people who have entered for business purposes, or let's say for even for tourism, we know that WeChat is the blood, that's how you it's almost like a telephone and a yes in China when you do businesses. So make sure you set up a WeChat official account, prefer a service account, and then publish Chinese language product cards. Again, your specs, your certificates, your contacts. Put your official account QR on every PDF catalog, and if you're exhibiting on your booth as well. So that is how they optimized. Chinese people do not often spend a lot of time in reading anything which is visually being there or given them in a hard copy way. They usually prefer to scan and read it on their phone or their iPad. So make sure that QR code is something which should be imbibed in any sort of documentation that you are presenting to buyer. On Alibaba and 21 Food, secure verification. So list multiple SKUs with Chinese copy attached to your certificate of analysis, which you often call certificate of authenticity as well. Enable your RFQ and try to reply within 12 to 24 hours. I think there are a lot many exhibitors portal as well that you can go and complete your profile. If you are exhibiting on ProWine Shanghai, CL China, you get an opportunity to make sure that your profiles are complete, because a lot of buyers in Asia usually go and look for suppliers who are coming in these exhibitions before and after as well. So WeChat treated like a B2B operating system, and treat your official account as a portable catalog. So that's how you should work in China. There's a new app which has recently taking a level up place in B2B as well, and that's a Red Notebook. This Red Notebook started as more like a C2C and then B2C, but now in from couple of months it has started to become as good as WeChat as well. But though the app is not that mature, and I don't think there are going to be super lot many buyers on the app. So try to be on WeChat, and if time permits and space permit, just be on the Red Note as well. Coming to India. So India, I would say it's a more WhatsApp friendly, and it's a little fast market pace as well. So let's say India Mart is going to be your front door. So any supplier, make sure that you have a good India Mart app. Your Trade India and your Exporters India will still get you a solid leads, but most of the conversation I think will still happen on WhatsApp business account. So make sure that that's ready, because it should have a chat bot to itself that replies to when you are not online. So have a WhatsApp business that will really help you to get your business and at least the conversation going on. Have your FSI ready, that is your India compliance. Have your price bands to major ports. Have your MAQs ready, your lead time ready to send in one PDF. You can keep your replies very number forward, because that is how the business is run in India. So you have to make sure that any dialogue that you have or any sort of conversation you have, you put your numbers very clear and in a clean way. So in India, I think speed and clarity of numbers is going to make you one of the shortlisted one if you have to come and meet any sort of importers or buyers. But other than that, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Instagram to an extent also works very well in India, though it has to see the maturity of B2B business, especially in Elcobev business. But I think other than that, India Mart, Trade India, Exporter India's, and WhatsApp Business will give you as good as results to any other app. Vietnam is social by default. So you can list on Alibaba and global sources to get discover. So these are the platform that will help you in discovery, but expect the buyers to follow up on Zalo. So Zalo, or you can say Zalo, but usually it's pronounced as Zalo. So Zalo is Vietnam's number one chat app. I think the number one is Zalo and the second one is Facebook Messenger. So you can do both. But this is one app which will help you to connect with anybody in the industry, and you can build a community around it. So Zalo does not just allows you to talk like WhatsApp, but it allows you to build a community like WeChat. So there's a difference between these two apps. Complete your profiles in the Food Hotel Vietnam and Vietnam Food Expo Exhibitors directory as well, because a lot of buyers shortlist you before and after the show as well. So when they click, you have to wow them with strong pack photos to 30 seconds product video if you can. Video presentation and marketing, I think, is one of a very high trait of any brand entering in Vietnam, because that is how they prefer to see any sort of brand entering. So video is going to be something that you should try to embed more as much as on your pages. And I think Zalo definitely gives you a leverage of adding video to your product profile as well. So do that. One important factor is make sure to plan around your reaching and approaching buyers and consider the festivals as well. So be it China, be it India, be it all the countries that we spoke before, including Vietnam, try to see when their Lunar New Year's schedule. And that will also help you to reduce a lot of back and forth at the wrong time. But remember one thing in Vietnam, that if you're not on Zalo, you are actually knocking on a locked door. So make sure that Zalo is something which should be by default if you're even thinking of doing your first conversation in Vietnam. South Korea, I would say it's a matchmaking and more of a presentation moved country. So you can use Trade Korea, for example, and GoBiz Korea for curated matches. They allow you to have a matchmaking system and they give you the right sort of matches. In paid version and free version, at least you can put your profiles up. Many buyers also use Naver search. So Naver search, which is in the green icon, it gives you a simple Korean landing page with a subtitle video. So you can actually make your Naver page with a nice Korean landing page and also have a video attached to it. What matters in South Korea is presentation. So need spec sheets, awards credentials, big time. So I think a lot of buyers definitely pay a very good attention to any international win that you have or any sort of award that you have won in your domestic or on global level. Exact documentation, they love to see the authentic and the right documentation. Confirm the cold chains and lead times in writing. So in Korea, I would say design always take upper hand. So they believe in a lot of matchmaking and presentation. That's how they move. A good design for them is not a vanity, it's actually a credibility. So pay a lot of attention to when you're building your profiles anywhere in South Korean apps. Thailand has two big trade marketplaces, that is Thai Trade and ThaiFex, but it also has a very good community builder, that's Line. So you can get discovered through Thai Trade and ThaiFex, which is almost like a virtual marketplace. So there's suppliers who would be coming and there would be buyers also. So it's almost like a live marketplace, but the follow-ups will always come to Line. So you can share a lot of information on the marketplaces like your readiness, especially your FDA label readiness, your launch bundles, your point of sale support. You can keep your tone friendly, pragmatic, and quick because it's not something which is a super formal platform. It's still treat as a more conversational platform. So try to come and build the community and build the pages because this is more like a discovery platform, and then the conversation will take place online anyway. So unlike Japan, Line in Thailand is not considered to be a very formal, not like an email. So you can still consider it as a conversational style platform like a WhatsApp. So you can be formal and you can be casual at the same time when you're messaging people. Basically, they want to see your brand as local as possible. So more language translations are appreciated, more QR codes are appreciated, using their colors, using the flag colors and all that is more appreciated. So if you see a lot of profiles of the brands entering from UO to US, they try to build a very different sort of profile altogether when they enter in Thailand. Singapore, I think one of the easiest country for you to enter and for you to connect with buyers. It's often known as a headquarter hub. So it's a very LinkedIn friendly country as well. So that makes it super easier for you to find a name, find a face, directly connect with them. So Singapore buyers and regional headquarters are super live on LinkedIn. They even have good portals like FHA Horeca and Provine Singapore. So keep your LinkedIn pages super current. Spotlight your leaderships. Definitely mention you are seeking SEA distributors, your Southeast Asia distributors. You can expect smaller but faster orders. The reason for it is because the communication is really easy here. Instagram works as well. TikTok works as well. So TikTok works in China as well, but I think WeChat supersedes everything. So TikTok takes a very number 4 or number 5th position. But here in Singapore, I think TikTok also is a very good B2B market segment. Provide calendar discipline, a lot of regional servicing. So it's been said and it's been observed by many brands that one Singapore meeting can unlock multiple Southeast Asia distributors or Southeast Asia meetings. So I think that is how you should treat Singapore. Super English friendly country. So even if you do not have a lot of translation available or a translator to convert your documents, you can still talk to people. You can still be able to close a deal with them. So, and most of the staff, when they pick the call, they are bilingual. So that makes it easy for you to even have cross the gatekeepers and go. Whereas in other, I don't think call is one of the best way if you don't know the language. For all the previous countries, it's better to be online first and then move to call and meet as a second step. Indonesia is, I would say, it's a very different country compared to the previous ones in compliance way. So it's a very compliance oriented country. For them, compliance comes first and then the scale or the business comes. And the reason for it is because alcohol in Indonesia is tightly controlled. So they do have discovery platforms like LinkedIn, and they do have WhatsApp for the talk and the conversations to take place. So that is how these two platforms are going to be number one. But your market marketplace presence happens on a couple of major platforms like Ralali. So that is one of a very good marketplace that works in Indonesia, Ralali.coms. And the second is Bininka, which is very distributor focused platform. So if you are on that platform as well, I think that will give you a lot of leverage in Indonesia. Lead with compliance checklist here. So in Indonesia, whenever a buyers want to meet a supplier or even sees the suppliers, they would like to see if you are compliant friendly for Indonesia or not. So try to have your compliance checklist maybe in the upper sections, your label layouts, your import route clarity as well. And also if you have any sort of phase city rollout, like you want to come to Jakarta first and then Surabaya and then Bali. So make sure that you do all that city rollout as well. But important thing and the key thumb rule here is the compliance comes first. So in Indonesia, you can't go very generic, you can't pitch a lot of things, so you have to read what the laws are and then accordingly you have to go considering it a little compliant friendly as well. So that was a quick apps and the marketplaces. This is one of the important slide that I wanted to keep and I wanted to communicate as well, because all we have seen and all we know is apps, which is what, but we do not know how. And that is one of the super important thing to understand, that when you look at this table, think of it as your translator. So in Asia, the same message lands very differently depending on the channel, tone, and speed. For example, a one line numbers oriented WhatsApp in India will give you a quick reply. Whereas the same note in Japan without a Japanese one pager or a polite greeting will completely get ignored. In China, if you do not come on WeChat, they are never going to see your Instagram messages. In Korea, if they notice a clean Korean PDF with a nice cold chain details, you will get right a reply. In Vietnam, if you respond on Zalo with nice visuals, that will work. Thailand wants really friendly, clear line follow-ups. Singapore will prefer a crisp LinkedIn DM or a nice capability one pager on emails as well. So when you speak the platform and the pace of the market, it actually puts the buyer at relax, that you at least know the community, you at least understand the culture, and you at least know what are the business and email etiquettes are. So use the table to mirror how each country listens and not how you want to communicate, because that is going to be a really different game changer when you want to come to Asian countries. So pick the right DM channel, match the formality, lead with specs that matters, and promise a response so that they can count on. So one simple rule that actually ties it all together is you match the channel, you mirror the tone, and you win the speed. And that's how your messages will turn into samples, calls, and POs. So this is just a nice table for you to understand what should be the first platforms that you should go and say hello to, even saying that, hey, I am this and that from this country and this is my brand. These are the right platform to do that. When your conversation should move for business, how your tone should be, and what is the response rate that they usually expect from their suppliers. Quick key takeaways here will be flexible where buyers are actually looking for. So list all the top B2B marketplaces that you have, the discovery channels that you have, and make sure you have a nice translated page. English, I'm sure, is something that you will feel convenient at the beginning to put it, but try to translate it. Hire a translator, or maybe on Fiverr, give a gig to somebody, but make sure that you have a right translation for at least the key figures and the key description that they are looking for. I think localize your digital showroom is what I just mentioned, as much as you can localize with colors. If you pay attention to the apps that are of each country, you will see a lot of resemblance of it becoming local as well. China uses all their apps, most of their apps in red and white color. So that is how lot many countries apps are also being very localized. So that's how you have to make sure that they do pay attention to even the colors you use, even the fonts you use, even the tone that you use, even the hello that you say and you speak to is going to be really important. Post like a pro on event portal. So still exhibitors. So for example, how in other countries, if you participate in any of the exhibition or an expo event, you make your exhibitor profile and then you exhibit. But here you have to really pay attention to your exhibitor profile, because that is also one of the directories that a lot of buyers do vouch on. So they do see suppliers, they do read about you before even giving you a call or before even thinking of coming to your homepage. So again, the right DM channel per market is going to be China, WeChat official account, product calls, and then video call. Japan and Thailand, line is going to be an amazing platform to be on first. Be on all the platform, I would say, but these would be the platform that you can actually start with. India and Indonesia, WhatsApp Business. Vietnam, Zalo, for anything, for even your day to day normal comms. This is going to be the app that will make you survive in Vietnam. Korea, Kakao Talk is going to be an important platform for you to communicate. And Singapore, I think LinkedIn DM will give you a good start, and you will at least get the right replies. This is again the key takeaway: speed wins the shortlist, price clarity is credibility. So I think this is all self explanatory. I just put it here because I really want you to understand that do not treat Asia as Asia and try to play the same game with in each country, because that will just waste your time and it will not give you results. Whereas if you really become local, you understand what each country is actually looking for, how people do business. There are so many case studies and success stories. So in the last slide, I was thinking that if anybody needs any sort of market download pack or any sort of case study to how actually brands change their entire strategy to come to, let's say, in cross country of, let's say, coming to China and then Japan, how they actually change the entire strategy from marketing to their digital presence to maybe their sales strategies as well. I think that's a very good success story that everybody should read. Happy to provide that. This is my email. You can just simply say hi, and you can let me know if you need the list of B2B apps in detail, including what will be the two liners that you should write when you're saying hello on any of these apps. First contact scripts is the same thing. How your next 7 days should look like, how you should plan your 30, 60, and 90 days, and what are the deal killers. So I did mention don'ts in some of the countries, which are actually the business no-nos for them, and that is not that this somehow appreciated. So even that would be, I'm happy to share it across with anyone who needs it. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take two questions. I do see questions already coming. Okay, so the question here is, we are a mid-sized European winery with no local office. What's the fastest way to get shortlisted in Japan and South Korea? So I think start by fixing the offer and the math. So one page spec in Japanese and one in Korean, clear pack sizes, pricing, lead times. Try to list them as much as possible on their apps. And if you really want to get found by buyers, as I said, JETRO, Chamber Directories, Foodex, JFX profile. This is going to be one of very good profiles. Before you even go to these platforms, I would like you to just browse the platform and see maybe an European winery which is already listed there. See how their listing is. See a couple of such listings. Maybe you want to see globally, you go to other countries, wineries listing as well. Make sure what are the compulsory items that they all are writing, and accordingly write your side of the story as well, and make your profile page like that. Use Line, Line in Japan, and Kakao Talk in Korea, and reply the same day. So when I say use these apps, it does not mean that you just have to use this app for conversation. Let's say you get a line ID of somebody and you have a line, you just say hello. So that is yes. But second is build your own community as well. So do not just poach your contacts from LinkedIn and start shooting them line. Make line community, lot of references, groups that you get online, you can join them. So line itself can be your first starter. Same goes with Kakao Talk as well. Make it as your first starter and not like just an app for you to communicate. Build your community on these platforms. The second question is, we are a China brand targeting India. How do we approach importers on WhatsApp without getting ghosted? Okay, so I still do not have the reason that, I can understand that people just do not respond to when you message them. So let's say you can always lead with a lot of compliance and numbers. So India prefers readiness, price, minimum order, what is the lead time. If you have a WhatsApp business number, that should be the number one thing. So I'm sure that you have written WhatsApp, so you have a WhatsApp business number. So get discovered on IndiaMart and Trade India as well. Have a very nice, clean info. Then move on WhatsApp. You can propose them 2 or 3 city pilot with basic point of contact and staff training as well. Be clear on payment terms. I think that is super, super important. And also be very realistic on logistic and excise time by state. So India has different states, and each state has their different excise duties. So make sure that you again do not jump in India as India in India. Make sure that to tag which cities that you want to go in, understand what sort of logistic works there. put your timelines, keep every message and numbers forward. I would still say whenever you are texting somebody, do not just go in business directly. Say hello, introduce yourself. I think give the idea of your brand is your success story in your domestic and other market should always be the leverage that you should use. And then the second part would be the business term. So in Asia, I think relationships and hello highs are super, super important instead of direct business talk. So your business talk can be level 2 and your level 1 would be setting and understanding the buyer.